I'm wondering if you think that there is a single most important Latino issue for Latinos across the U.S. If so, what it is. The reason why I'm wondering this is because I feel that the immigration debate takes so much attention from Hispanic media, and I know that a lot of people Hispanic people have mentioned it in polls as their priority. But I'm wondering if perhaps you think that focusing so much on immigration debate and policy is keeping Latinos in the U.S. from achieving progress in other areas.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do think the whole essence, if you even notice how I made my presentation, I didn't start there. Even though I believe it's an incredibly important issue, I believe that issue is the civil rights issue of our time and of our community, including for all of us who are citizens and legal permanent residents, because it is unacceptable to see United States citizens and legal permanent residents unlawfully detained in immigration facilities, even though they are citizens and permanent residents. And I have, unfortunately, too many of those cases in my office, which has happened. And so we cannot accept being a second-class citizen in this country. But by the same token, I do think that economic empowerment is the singular issue that is important to our community, because from economic empowerment, all things are derived. The opportunity for upward mobility in this country, the opportunity to realize the hopes and dreams and aspirations of Latino families, the opportunity to get a part of the rock, to own your own home, the opportunity to create or expand your own businesses. So for me, and certainly in this economy where Latinos have faced a disproportionate share of those who are unemployed, for me, the economic empowerment issue is the singular most important issue. But I would say that the immigration issue takes so much attention because it is a civil rights issue for us. And because, you know, when we see states across the country taking into their hands immigration policy, which is really federal in nature, and being punitive against our people, it rises obviously because nos toca, no? It hurts us. So.
Let's take off the focus of the president and let's put in ourselves. Perhaps that's why we learn in psychology class the way of technique of fixing the problem. You blame yourself instead of blaming anybody else. He said in a speech to the Hispanic Caucus Gala, I think was booed in that speech, during that speech, but he said something that sounds practical to me. He said, guys, you have to put pressure on me. Things happen like that in Washington, D.C. You put pressure, the gays put pressure on me, and I got a law approved. And the health care reform was also, there's a lot of pressure on every quarter, unions and such. So he was kind of telling us, you guys are a gang that cannot shoot straight. You cannot put enough pressure on me to pass anything. Should we start blaming ourselves, Senator?
No. I think I was there when he made those comments, and here's the context in which he made them. He said, you need to keep putting the pressure on me, but you also need to put pressure on the Congress, and he was really referring to Republicans, so that I can get a bill that I can sign. So he wasn't suggesting that not enough pressure was going on him, because believe me, he has been given a lot of pressure. It is not easy to sit in the Oval Office of the President and have Luis Gutierrez and me eye to eye with the President of our own party and say to him, you must give us some administrative relief in the absence of helping us pass any legislation.
So why haven't you?
Well, he did give us administrative relief. It isn't everything I want, but it's more than any other president has given us administratively.
On the other hand, he also has a much higher deportation record than any of the...
And that is a very sore subject, which I have raised with him as well. And I am hoping that the Assistant Secretary Morton, who is the Assistant Secretary of Homeland Security, that his memo, which is to give prosecutorial discretion and pursue only criminal, which I certainly support. I support deporting anybody who has a criminal record in this country. By the same token, I don't think that families who have done nothing wrong should be part of the deportation process. So prioritizing who we seek to deport to this country is, I think, very important.
What do you think is more likely to happen first? Legalization of gay marriage with federal recognition for immigration purposes, or a related immigration measure, either administrative or in Congress, that would allow same-sex couples to sponsor residency for their life partners?
The first one was what?
First one, legalization of gay marriage with federal recognition for all purposes,
With federal
including
rec-
immigration, or a related immigration measure, either administrative or in Congress, that would allow same-sex couples to sponsor
Right.
residency for their life partner.
I think it would be the latter.
Okay.
I personally support marriage equality, and have signed on to Senator Feinstein's legislation to be able to do so from a federal perspective. My view of that happening in any time soon, that's got a long way to go. I think, however, that I included in my immigration reform measures, the ability for same-sex partners to be able to avail themselves of any of the immigration relief that exists, for anybody else in the country.
Senator, one of the readers asked why there was a delay on the Patty Short's nomination. To confirm it?
Yeah. So I take my obligation to advise and consent very seriously. And in the first rounds of questions that I had with Judge Schwartz, a series of answers about critical issues. This is the circuit court judge. This is not a district court. The circuit court is the last stop before the United States Supreme Court. For most people, it means the last chance they'll ever get, because very few people ever get their case held by the Supreme Court. It's also a lifetime appointment. So I think it's very important as to who you put on. She gave me a series of answers that I found to be lacking on major constitutional issues. She had a second opportunity where she came back. We went through those and other issues. And in that session, she manifested a much better knowledge. Now, I don't know whether she prepped or the White House prepped her, but whatever, she came in with a much better set of knowledge. And based upon that, I was supportive of her nomination. And I actually appeared before the Judiciary Committee, I think it was a week or two ago, in support of her. So I think, when we talk about delay, however, nothing has been going on in the Senate in terms of bringing the role of judges out, because Republicans have filibustered just about every judge that we have. So I don't think there was much of a delay caused as a result of it.